Okay, so picture this. You are right in the hot seat. You're the engineer on call for this massive, high-profile live sports broadcast.
Oh man, stressful.
Right. The tension is just super high, and suddenly the video feed from the arena starts dropping packets.
Which is like the exact moment your stomach just completely drops. Because if that network recovery fails, millions of viewers are about to see, macro blocking.
Yeah, those chunky, distorted digital squares just tearing across the image.
Exactly. Or honestly worse, a completely frozen screen.
So today, we are diving into a massive stack of sources, RFC specs, white papers, and basically a mountain of vendor sales decks. And our mission for this deep dive is to cut through all that marketing jargon.
Yeah, to look at what actually saves the show.
Right. We are exploring how SRT and RIST actually handle these hostile networks to keep a broadcast on the air.
You can think of these protocols like a safety net for your video feed.
Right. I mean, they don't magically stop the fall. They just give you this very specific amount of time to recover before you, well, hit the ground.
I like that analogy. Yeah, and to understand how that safety net functions, we really have to look at how these protocols buy you time during a packet loss spike.
Okay, so how do they?
Well, SRT relies on an ARQ-style retransmission window. Think of ARQ kind of like a student raising their hand in a really noisy classroom.
Like saying, hey, I missed that last sentence. Can you send it again?
Exactly. It's a targeted request for missing data. And RIST uses a similar philosophy, but it builds on these standardized profiles established by the Video Services Forum.
But wait, looking through all these technical specs, neither of these actually guarantee zero loss, right? They're basically just managing the buffer based on a latency budget.
Yeah, it entirely comes down to that budget. I mean, if you widen your latency budget, you buy a much bigger safety net.
But you get way more broadcast delay.
Right. And if you shrink it, you severely limit the time your system actually has to realize a packet is missing and then ask for that resend.
Wait, I want to push back on that for a second. So if a producer is in my ear, screaming for ultra-low latency for some snappy interactive interview.
Oh, they always do.
Right. Are they actively demanding that I shrink my technical safety net?
They are. Yeah, every single millisecond of delay you remove from that feed is a millisecond. Your system just no longer has to recover lost data.
Wow. Okay.
But honestly, even if you negotiate a perfect latency budget, your stream still has to survive the arena's firewall.
Which is where those beautiful vendor sales slides usually go to die.
Oh, totally. Because both of these protocols ride over UDP.
Right, and UDP traffic is basically just blasting a fire hose of data at the destination.
Yeah, so it requires NAT traversal and pinholing.
Which sounds complicated.
It is. It's basically coordinating with a building owner to drill a highly specific, temporary hole in their concrete wall, just big enough for your exact fire hose.
And the sales materials kind of imply their protocol will just effortlessly punch through any network.
Right, but the reality is you have to document source and destination IP addresses, define UDP port ranges, and present all of that to a local IT security team.
Just getting them to approve dynamic UDP flows for like a 3-hour live event window is a massive logistical hurdle.
It's a huge hurdle, and what's interesting in these sources is that neither protocol is locked to one vendor. Like, RIST is an interoperability spec, and SRT has this really broad multi-vendor support through the SRT Alliance.
So the software itself doesn't actually cost you?
No, the true cost is always the engineering hours. It's the lab integration, configuring the monitoring systems, and building the on-call playbooks.
So your team actually knows what to do when that fire hose gets choked off.
Exactly.
So if both SRT and RIST are open, and they're multi-vendor, and they have to punch the exact same holes in the exact same firewalls, how does an engineer actually choose between them?
Well, the decision just has to follow the ecosystem already running in your truck and at your receive sites.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so if your workflow, latency tuning, and monitoring dashboards are already dialed in for SRT, you deploy SRT. But you strongly consider RIST if you have a mixed hardware pool, especially in environments utilizing TR-06.
Which is just a standardized way different network devices talk to management systems.
Exactly.
So the biggest rookie mistake isn't necessarily picking the wrong protocol. It's letting a salesperson pick a protocol before anyone has even drawn out the network diagram.
Bingo. The datasheet never wins the day. Ultimately, your protocol choice must follow your specific path, your existing monitoring stack, and your redundancy plan.
And when you are mapping out that path, you really do not want to be guessing on show day. MDL Communications actually designs, validates, and troubleshoots those live contribution feeds.
Yeah, whether your architecture calls for SRT, RIST, bonded cellular links, or some complex head-in handoff, they handle the proof of concepts.
Right, the lab validation, the integration support. It's practical engineer-to-engineer backup.
So you can just head over to mdlcommunications.com or reach out to MDL when the meters actually matter.
Because keeping the show on the air requires way more than just picking a protocol. It requires knowing exactly how it breaks.
Very true.
Which actually leaves me wondering about the future. As live broadcasts increasingly rely on these wildly unpredictable 5G networks or low Earth orbit satellites, will this whole concept of setting a fixed latency budget soon just be completely obsolete?
Definitely something to think about.
Next time you see a frozen screen, for sure.